We see ourselves in our puppies. Those tender looks full of innocence and unconditional love make us feel special, important. But how many times do we stop to reflect on what they, and all the other creatures of nature, are showing us? Where do we find the strength to understand that these beings are not only companions in life, but precious examples of dignity? Dignity is not a concept unique to humans. Every form of life, from the smallest blade of grass to the grandest tree, from insects to wild animals, embodies an intrinsic value that goes beyond what we perceive superficially. When we observe a bird building its nest, a flower blooming, or a lion defending its pride, we are witnessing a pure expression of dignity. In nature, dignity is silent but omnipresent. Every living thing manifests itself following its purpose with grace and determination. A tree, for example, never asks for recognition while it offers shelter, oxygen, and beauty. Animals do not boast about their role in the ecological balance, yet their every action contributes to the maintenance of life on Earth. This innate dignity is a lesson we can learn and bring into our way of life. Nature does not compete for recognition, it simply is. It accepts the cycle of life and death, the changing seasons and the unpredictability of existence with a wisdom we often forget we have. Recognizing the dignity of nature means treating every living thing with respect. It means understanding that our relationship with the environment is not one of domination, but of collaboration. We can start with small gestures, such as reducing waste, planting trees, or protecting natural habitats. These acts are not only a contribution to the well-being of the planet, they are a way to reconnect with the sacred that exists in everything around us. Imagine walking in a forest. The air is fresh, the sounds of nature surround you, and every step reminds you that you are part of something bigger. In that moment, you realize that every leaf, every blade of grass, every animal you encounter has a dignity that deserves your respect. Animals show us dignity in ways we often ignore. A faithful dog that stays by our side in difficult times, isn't that demonstrating a pure form of respect and love? A bird that migrates thousands of miles following an ancient instinct, isn't that an example of resilience and strength? Yet, our relationship with animals is often marked by a lack of respect for their dignity. Intensive farming, hunting for sport, or the trade in exotic species are just a few examples of how we ignore their intrinsic value. To honor the dignity of animals, we must rethink the way we treat them, not as resources to be exploited, but as living beings who share this planet with us. The Earth itself is a living being. It breathes through its oceans, pulsates through its volcanoes, and nourishes through its fertile soil. Recognizing the dignity of the Earth means caring for it, just as we would a loving mother who has given us everything. Unfortunately, our actions often demonstrate the opposite. Pollution, deforestation, and exploitation of natural resources not only destroy the environment, but also ignore the sacredness of the Earth. We can change this approach by choosing sustainability, educating ourselves to live in harmony with nature, and becoming custodians of what we have been given. We cannot live apart from nature, because we are part of it. Our role is not to dominate it, but to protect it with love and respect. By recognizing the dignity of nature, we begin to see ourselves differently. We understand that our value does not depend on what we own, but on how we choose to act towards the life around us. When we observe an animal, a tree, or even a small plant growing in difficult terrain, we see an example of dignity. It is a call to rediscover our connection with nature, to recognize that every life has value, and to live in a way that honors that value. The dignity of nature is a gift, a lesson, and a responsibility. It is up to us to welcome it, respect it, and pass it on to future generations. If we start to see the world through this lens, perhaps we will change not only our relationship with the environment, but also with ourselves. Happy New Year! Let's start 2025 by reflecting on the value of life and the dignity of every living being.